All right, let's begin. Let's begin with the vertical angles theorem. What do you notice about the diagram? The diagram here shows that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3, angle 2 is congruent to angle 4. Basically, whenever you have two intersecting lines or an X, the opposite angles are always going to be congruent or exactly equal. That's what we're going over here. And you can click on this link over here on the right and you can get more information. This example here shows A, B, and C. There should be a C here. So here it says cross braces help keep the deck post straight. Find the measure of each angle. So if you notice, the angle here in green is 146 degrees. So those braces, cross braces, basically form an X, right? So that means that the opposite angle is going to be the same as angle 6 here. So angle 6 is going to be exactly the same as the opposite angle, which is 146 degrees. So now that means that these two are exactly the same. Angle 7 and angle 5. So how do we figure that one out? Well, we use what we know about a straight line and angle pairs. So we have any straight lines, doesn't matter what kind of straight line. Let's make sure we got just draw any straight line here. Well, let's just draw a regular straight without using it's not working for me. So we'll use black. There we go. So at this straight line, and when it cuts in right in the middle of a circle, we know that it's basically creating 180 degrees and then 180 degrees on each side, or the half a pizza, right? So when you break that 180 degrees with another angle, you create supplementary angles, angle A and angle B. And that's what we have here with 146 and 5, or 146 and angle 7. Those create straight lines or angle pairs or supplementary angles, different vocabulary words to mean the same thing. So that's one way, right? And the other way was 146 degrees and angle 5, that create a straight line there. Okay, so knowing that, we can just subtract 180 degrees, right, minus 146. So that's pretty much it. You know, you can use any kind of math you want. Calculator, I'm just going to show you here. Old school math, that gives us 34 degrees. So if angle 5 and angle 7 are each going to be 34 degrees. So if we add them all up, 146 plus 146 plus 34 plus 34, that would give us 360 degrees. Okay, so now let's move on to the next example. Right, so now that we know that, it gets a little more difficult because we're entering variables or values that are not listed, that are unknown values. All right, so these are vertical angles here. I'll show you again with some color. These two here. So intersecting lines always create vertical angles, and those are the vertical angles. They're going to be exactly the same. So 41 is going to be the same as 5x plus 1. And you just solve like a doing regular algebra equation or algebraic equation, and divide by 5 on each side and we get 8. So the value of x is 8, right? So if you want to double, triple check that in the color green, we can say that 5 times 8 plus 1, we'll put in the x right there, that's 40 plus 1 is 41. So that means 41 and 41 vertical angles. Alright, I'm going rather quickly because you should be able to pause this, and I'm just going to double check to see if this is recording. Perfect. Alright, so now here we have linear pair supplementary angles, right? So if you can imagine a line that continues. Now this is a little bit off because my pencil's off. There it is. So if you can, this is pretty much like the last one, right? But they're not showing the rest of it. So what does that mean? That we do exactly the same thing as the first example, right? We say, hey, if that's true, that means that this is 75 degrees and this is also 5x down here. Those are vertical angles. But when they're next to each other, they create a perfect straight line, right? So that means that these two here in green create a perfect straight line, which should equal to 180 degrees. So that means that 75 plus 75 plus 5x equals 180 degrees. So you subtract 75, you get 5x equals 105, and divide each side by 5, that'll be 21. So what is, if x equals 21, and that's all you really need to do, is solve for the value of x, but you can always plug in there, 5 times 21 will give you 105, and 105 plus 75 is 180. Alright, so let's keep moving. Complementary angles is half of a supplementary angle, which is half of 180 is 90. So if you notice here, we have a little red square, and all that tells us is that automatically it's 90 degrees. So that means that those two together, both of these angles together, is going to equal 90 degrees. So when you add them up, you can set them equal to 90, right? So that would be 5x plus 45 equals 90. 5x, subtract 45 on each side, right? You get 5x equals 45, and divide by 5 on each side, and you get 9. So x equals 9. That's not a z, that's x equals 9. So I'm trying to go a little bit faster so this video is shorter, right? So that's how you do that one there. Remember, you can always pause or rewind, right? So complementary and vertical. Remember, I'm writing on the, this is on in your notes, so I'm not going to erase this. You can see this in your live notes. It should be there as we speak, or as I speak. Complementary and vertical angles. Here we go. This is a much more difficult problem here. Let's see if we can tackle it. They want to know angle AFC in yellow. So angle AFC is this one right here. So what do we know from it already? We can see that it forms a perfect straight line, line AD, and if this is a 90 degrees here, and it's a whole 180 together, that means that this is also 90 degrees. So this is an easy one from what we see here. Let's see, let's erase all this. Let's try to tackle the next one in blue. Angle AFB. AFBs. AFB. That would be that angle right there. Alright, so there it is. Those would be complementary angles here. Let's go with blue. This angle here is 50 degrees. And this angle here is angle AFB, the one we want. So angle AFB plus angle 50 degrees has to equal 90 degrees. That's what we just showed. So angle AFB has to be 40 degrees if we subtract 50 on both sides. So we can see that angle FB is 40 degrees. Alright, let me erase that now. Remember, you can rewind this. Let's use a different color. Black angle, let's go green here. Angle DFE. DFE is this one down here. This one down here can be done in multiple ways, but the easiest way is to fill in what we already know, that angle AFB is 40 degrees, right? So if 40 plus 50 is 90, the other one is 90, the rest of it is 180. But what we easily see is that these are vertical angles. There's an X here, right? These two lines, intersecting lines, create an X. So that means that vertical angles are directly opposite angles, so that would also equal 40 degrees. Okay, let's try the last one. Make sure we keep the 40 degree there. Let's put in 40 degrees, right? And this one's 90. And then angle AFE, let's go back to yellow again. Angle AFE, AFE. Angle AFE is formed by two intersecting lines, and I'm going to use the color red here. It's line AD and line BE, right? So angle AFE is this angle right here. So if you can see, the opposite angle, or the vertical angle to that, would be two angles, 50 plus 90. The 90 degree angle and the 50 degree angle would together be angle AFE. So all you have to do is add 90 plus 50, which gives you 140.